For those of you who don't know me, I'm Peter, Gretchen's dad, and as father of the bride, I have the honor of making the first toast. On behalf of my wife, Jackie, and I would like to thank you all for coming to help celebrate the marriage of Gretchen and Eric today. I would like to start by recognizing Jane, Eric's mother, and her partner, David, as well as Bill, Eric's father, and his wife, Robin. I know I speak on behalf of both sides of the family when I extend a warm welcome to all of you for coming here today to join us for Gretchen and Eric's wedding. I look around me today and I realize what a wonderful set of friends and family Gretchen and Eric have. You should give yourselves a hand. I know that many of you have traveled considerable distance, and all of you have taken time out of your lives. In this fast-paced 21st century, Twitter and texting and double espresso and double book calendars world we live in, it's hard and it's rare and it's precious to find the time to slow down and enjoy one another's company. So we invite you all to reconnect with old friends, which apparently some of you have already taken that up. And connect with new ones. And we hope that you have a wonderful time this evening. And I feel like I'm the proudest dad in the world today to be able to accompany Gretchen up the aisle. I'm certain that you will all agree with me that she looked stunning. Now this is where I'm supposed to say a few embarrassing things from when she was younger. But I'm not. As I look at my daughter, I can't help but reflect on all the years that I've been lucky enough to watch her grow into the beautiful woman she is today. She captured our hearts on the day she was born. And that feeling has only grown as the years have passed. She's my little girl, my princess, my ray of sunshine, and she's always going to be those things to me. Now, as parents, we try to give our children two things. One is roots, and the other is wings. And Gretchen, today, you have spread those wings and fled the nest. But you will still be loved, and there will always be roots within our family for you. Now, we have known Gretchen and we have known Eric and his family since the kids were small children. Gretchen, if she did think about Eric back then, probably just thought he was another boy she had to out-ski. But we moved away, and the families didn't stay in touch. Time passed, however, and it's only fitting that the two of them are once again skiing in Lake Tahoe, and the rest, as they say, is history. I believe that Gretchen has met her perfect partner in Eric. I think it's a real treat to watch them together. Both Jackie and I think that Eric is everything one could hope for in a son-in-law. And now we get to the tricky part of the speech, when, according to tradition, I'm supposed to give advice on marriage. I'm probably not the best person to do this. And anyway, Eric and Gretchen don't need my advice. The only thing I would say is that you must choose the right partner for the right reason, and I think that they both have done this. But I suppose I ought to be able to manage something a bit more constructive. As a great philosopher or comedian once said, women are to be loved and not understood. Mind you, helping out around the house is not a bad idea. I know from crime statistics that there's never been a case of a wife shooting her husband while he was doing the dishes. After that, I better finish. But first, I'd like to offer one final thought. Marriage is the meeting of two minds, of two hearts, and of two souls. And it's clear that Eric and Gretchen are a perfect example of this. So now it is my distinct pleasure to propose a toast to the couple. So please be upstanding and raise your glasses to the bride and groom, Mr. and Mrs. Bruin. I wish them enjoyment for today, the fulfillment of all their hopes and dreams for tomorrow, and love and happiness always. Prosit.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the next toast of the afternoon will be given by Andrew, the best man.
Hi, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Andrew, and I'm mostly here because I've survived being around Eric longer than anyone else. In fact, I've known Eric since we were 5 years old, and I have to say, not a whole lot has changed from those days. We used to spend a lot of time shooting Nerf guns and making rubber band balls and playing board games. Now we spend a lot of time shooting bows and arrows, making things out of metal, and playing board games. I think everyone who meets Eric knows he's a little bit different than most people, and I think everyone that gets to know Eric realizes that this makes him awesome. He's by far one of the most interesting people I know. One of my favorite things about Eric is that he's a tinkerer. He's the kind of person who, when he sees something that catches his interest, he has to make it. And he can make anything. Even if he doesn't know the skills needed, he will teach himself how to do it. What this really says, though, about Eric is that he has one of the most creative minds of anyone that I know. And his imagination, while sometimes a little scary, is what makes being around Eric always exciting. When we were young, Eric's family and my family would go to Yosemite every year. Eric and I would spend our evenings with a camcorder looking for black bears. Great idea. One night, Eric and I were out hunting for bears, and we were walking through an empty parking lot, and all of a sudden, we heard a noise to our side. So we look over, and there's 2 black bears not 30 feet away from us. So Eric swings the camcorder around, and the black bears just take off running. About 10 seconds later, we hear screams of, "Bear! Bear!" from the campgrounds, followed by banging pots and pans. Eric turns to me and calmly turns the camcorder off, and then without a word, we ran. Looking back now, I realize what a great friend Eric is. Good friends will track bears in the woods at night with you, but great friends know that when you send a bear on a rampage through a campground, you run the other way. And that is exactly the kind of friend Eric is, the kind who will stand by your side in the best and worst of times. He's the guy who will hold your beer while you say, "Watch this." He's the guy who, when you say jump, says, "Wait, let's make rocket-powered boots so we can jump higher." When I first met Gretchen, I knew that she was special. It takes a special kind of person to be able to put up with Eric. But as I got to know Gretchen, I learned that she was also funny and intelligent and incredibly thoughtful. When she and Eric would visit, she would do little things like bring me my favorite dessert, sticky toffee pudding, which is almost impossible to find. After a couple of years, I started to realize that Gretchen was the perfect balance for Eric. While Eric is sometimes easily distracted, Gretchen is focused and collected. While Eric is sometimes caught in the moment, Gretchen has planned 2 steps ahead. And perhaps most importantly, Gretchen appreciates Eric and all of his quirks. She's even taken up archery and 4-wheeling. By the way, Eric gets frustrated that Gretchen is always better than him at everything. But I love it. Anyway, it's been amazing to watch Eric grow and mature as a person over the years. And I think we all have Gretchen to thank for this in a large part. I think the moment I realized that Gretchen was a perfect person for Eric was actually at a dinner we had back in January. The main course of the dinner was haggis. And for those of you who haven't tried it, it tastes exactly like it sounds, and it smells even better. But when we served it up, Gretchen ate it without so much as a grimace. I think she even said something like, "It's okay." Now, yeah, it's not too bad. Now, I knew that made her special, and I'm pretty sure it made Eric proud. But what really convinced me that they were meant for each other came later that night. After a bit too much whiskey, we decided it would be a good idea to throw axes at a pumpkin. Needless to say, we missed and missed and missed. But after numerous failed attempts, Gretchen stepped up to give it a try, and she hit the pumpkin dead center on her first throw. To this day, Eric brags about that moment. And I mean, he brings it up a lot. And when you hear Eric talk about Gretchen like that, you can just tell how much he loves her. Eric, I know I said you can build anything, but this next project is going to be a big one. With mortgages and car payments and possibly babies, you're definitely going to need Gretchen's help on this one. And Gretchen, thank you for being such a good friend to Eric. You've taken on quite the burden, but I'm convinced that you're the perfect person for the job. So congratulations to you both. Let's raise a glass to Gretchen and Eric. As they embark on this latest journey, may you always have each other.
Okay, the next toast of the evening will be given by Elizabeth.
Hello, everybody. I'm Elizabeth Bagley. I'm Gretchen's friend and matron of honor, as he just said. And before I get started, I wanted to thank Mr. and Mrs. Sturm for hosting this beautiful celebration. So, woo, because it's their special day too. So, for those of you who don't know, Gretchen and I met through work at the Jackson Laboratory. And you may have heard some stories about it being a challenging workplace, but it ended up being quite a blessing in disguise because I'm going to start crying. Because I met like my best friend. And when Gretchen asked me to be her matron of honor, I was thrilled, but also a little sad because we live so far apart and we haven't really been able to spend as much time lately as we used to, which was very special. But what makes Gretchen such an amazing friend is that whenever we do finally get to come together, we just pick up where we left off. And we always have something to talk about. And it's just, that's the hallmark of a true friendship, is when you can be apart for months or days, and it's when you are finally together again, it's like no time has passed. And when I met Gretchen, she and Eric were already an item. So, it was a while, so I knew Gretchen much better originally than Eric, and it was a while before I finally met Eric. And in the meantime, I heard tales of there being ye olden weaponry and car parts and things strewn about on tables. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. But when I finally met Gretchen and Eric, and saw how just Gretchen lights up around you and just how in love you are and what an amazing couple, then I knew it was awesome. And I'm so excited to be your guys' friend. Sorry, I'm really nervous. Okay. So the two of you are always having fun and you're truly a perfect match, which kind of echoes what people have said before. And I've only been married a couple years, so I don't really have any advice to offer. But when I was thinking of how to do this speech, I watched a lot of YouTube videos and I saw a lot of people doing musical numbers and raps. So Gretchen and Eric you just kidding. Okay, no, I'm not really gonna sing. Sorry. I promised I wouldn't sing and I wouldn't embarrass her, so I won't actually do that. I'm gonna let a master speak for me. I found a beautiful poem that I think just conveys it echoes kind of what Gretchen's dad said about needing to slow down and connect in a fast-paced, technology-centered world. And it's called The Master Speed by Robert Frost. And see if you can guess what line was added to the poem just for this occasion. So this is The Master Speed by Robert Frost. No speed of wind or water rushing by, but you have a speed far greater. You can climb back up a stream of radiance to the sky and back through history up the stream of time. And you were given this swiftness, not for haste, nor chiefly that you may go where you will, but in the rush of everything to waste, that you may have the power of standing still. Off any still or moving thing you say, to such as you, with master speed, cannot be parted nor swept away. From one another, once you are agreed that life is the only life forevermore, together, wing to wing, and oar to oar, and axe to axe. So if everyone would raise their glasses, or rather their flutes, for a toast, to Gretchen and Eric, may your days be filled with love and happiness, and hopefully one day, big chunky babies. Sorry, I was so nervous. Where's the
Baby jousting. Sasquatch lanes. Wait, baby jousting on. Oh my God, yes.
Okay, the bride just has a brief statement she'd like to make.
Statement might be a strong word. Might be a little much for what's going to happen. Eric and I just really wanted to thank everybody for coming out and for partying with us, and I hope that everybody has a great time, and we're so excited and blessed that you guys were all able to come out, and it's just so great to see all of your faces and get to connect with people that we maybe don't see all the time, and it's been great. Thank you so much. What?
No more champagne.
Did you want?
She's shoving the mic at my face. So I prepared a very long speech. It's very lengthy and full of names, kind of like the Silmarillion. That was the Lord of the Rings joke, which probably didn't work. So anyways, I've been pretty blessed with joining the Sturms. You guys have a large family that I'm happy to be a part of, and we have a large kind of conjoined circle of friends, which is awesome. I'm also kind of making this up as I go along. But anyways, all I really wanted to say was I'm really excited to be part of Gretchen's world, and I'm really excited that all of you guys came out to support us and come to the wedding and just be a part of this great thing. So thank you all, and thank you all for coming. Pops wanted sin.
Hi, I didn't really plan anything to say tonight, but since you all are here, I might as well. I'm the... Hello? Hello? Ah, there we go. So I'm Bill. I'm the father of the groom. And I want to thank Peter for an amazing speech. And Andrew, you've been a great friend of Eric's for so long. It's awesome. And Elizabeth, thank you for that speech. And I'll talk really quietly so you can't hear me. So the oldest member of the Brune family can't be here. He's 95, but he sends his wishes. He would love to be here, but traveling at 95, you know, he's in Florida, so that's not easy. And I have to say, Eric has a certain Brune tradition to look forward to over the years. It may be inescapable, but we'll see. You know, when I was his age, I didn't look like this, but we'll see. Oh, okay. Anyway, so I'm really glad that Eric and Gretchen have made a very strong commitment to each other. Gretchen has been an amazing influence in his life, and I've seen the changes in Eric, and I really I think it's been extremely positive. as well as some other less positive influences like Pete, in introducing him to this Jeep thing. So now we had to build this 1942 Willys Jeep with complete, authentic detail. That's been fun. But we thank Pete for that. Thank you very much. And Eric has always been interested in lots of creative efforts, and he has made me some amazing metal art that today I still look at it and think it's like truly creative. He is great in many ways. So I'm very proud of Eric, and I'm very proud of this relationship that they have formed, and I wish them the best. And I want to raise a toast to Eric and Gretchen for an amazing future that we're all here to celebrate. Thank you very much.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we'll give you guys about 10 minutes or so, and then we'll go inside and do the first dance to gather yourselves. So in about 10 minutes, we'll be inside, and we'll be doing the first dance.